guys sure about this? Our neighbour looked pretty pissed off.
Yeah, you checked the rules, didn't you?
Yeah, there's nothing about having an island barbecue in the backyard.
Hey, what's this? Oh, check it out, a cultural artifact in our backyard. That is pretty cool. Surely you should get that conserved.
Yeah, mean. But I think it's us that are gonna need to get conserved. Look at this. Often our only clue to how we lived centuries ago are artifacts like tools and carvings which have been buried over time. Conserving these taonga, or treasures, is extremely important. So who does it and how is what I'm here to find out. Let's go. New Zealand meets Senior Research Fellow Dilys Johns here at the Auckland Museum. I know it's a really general question, but how far back would some of these artifacts date?
Some of them go back 500 years.
500 years? How does it feel to know that you help preserve our culture?
Well, it feels wonderful knowing that I'm able to hand something back to the iwi.
What is the relationship between you and the iwi when you're conserving their artifacts?
They're very grateful that I'm able to do the work and that their ancestors can go back home again.
If it wasn't for the artifacts that have been conserved to date, what sort of things wouldn't we know about our ancestors?
Sometimes we can find materials like we found the edge of a cloak in Orangi on the Hauraki Plains, and we took that to Digares Te Kanawa, a very famous weaver, and she said that was an edge that she had never seen, so she was able to make that edge, and so that was bringing information back into the culture.
It sounds like a really awesome job. Where do you do most of your conserving?
In a laboratory at the University of Auckland.
Sweet, well, I'm keen to come and check it out. Do you reckon you could take us there?
Sure.
Sweet, let's go. This is the lab here at Auckland University. Now, Dilys, can you tell us what happens here?
This is one of the tanks where the artefacts are impregnated. So when they're in the ground, they slowly degrade, and so we have to replace the water that has gotten inside the artefacts with a synthetic substance called polyethylene glycol. Would you like to look at some different types of artefacts?
I'd love to.
So these are quite good examples of fern root beaters, or patu arehe. They're from up north. You can see the adzing quite clearly on these.
And these are used to beat ferns?
Fern roots, yes, to make a sort of porridge.
So if I was digging in my backyard and accidentally came across something like this, what's the correct thing to do?
I think the best thing to do would be to phone the New Zealand Historic Places Trust, but most importantly, don't move anything. Because once you move it out of its context, then you often obliterate or destroy the evidence that tells the story.
Artefacts that are found in New Zealand, what are the kind of laws and regulations about them?
Well, under the Protected Objects Act, artefacts that are over 100 years old, owned by the Crown, and then people, iwi, apply for custody. And
if it's not over 100 years, it belongs to me?
No. It belongs to an iwi, but you need to find out who it was by getting in touch with the Historic Places Trust.
Why do you think it's important for people to make these artefacts available to the public?
So that everybody gets the knowledge rather than just a few collectors.
What have we got here, Dilys?
A very small bowl from Lake Waihola in just south of Dunedin.
And over here? This
is rigging that's made out of flax. And it's been made into muka for the waka. See there?
Far out. And again, really, really old, obviously.
This site was dated to 1400s.
Whoa!
Yeah. These actually all fit together, and they're all the pieces to a spiral on the stern of a waka.
Did the iwi ever come in here while you're working on these artefacts?
They do. All of these artefacts that came from Aotearoa were brought up by 8 kaumātua. Something a little bit different here is this is a hinaki made out of mangi vine. It's been conserved with a low molecular weight polyethylene glycol, and it's now stable, but it needs a little reshaping, and so I'll probably reshape it with steam before it goes home. Hinaki is an eel trap.
Oh. So what have we got here, Dilys?
This is either a canoe prow or a canoe stern. You can see here where it was lashed onto the main part of the hull with a lashing hold.
How long would it take to stabilise something like this?
A piece like this, because it doesn't have much end grain, will take about 4 years before it goes home. And then after impregnation, it needs to be dried, which can be very slow.
You do a very unique job. How many other people around New Zealand do the same job as you?
Well, this is the only lab that does conservation of wet organics, so there's just me.
There's just you. And you're very, very modest about all of it, aren't you?
I hope so.
Look, I want to thank you, Dilys, for giving me and you guys an understanding into the importance of keeping our artefacts alive and warm for our future generations. See you guys later.
What's up, guys? It's prize time, and this week you could be in to win these funky t-shirts.
Yeah, all you gotta do is tell us the name of the pony club that Kalia visits on her hoofball story. Now, coming up after the break, the Brother Dirty Sessions in the Folly.
Oh. Hello? Nah? Oh, all right. Okay, see you soon, bye.
Who's that?
Guys, how fast can you fill in the Umu pit? That was Housing New Zealand, and they're on their way here right now.